Welcome to the STIHL Timbersports Champions Trophy 2015, the world's toughest lumberjack challenge. Florence, Italy, a beautiful metropolis in the middle of Tuscany. The Renaissance has left her mark and created a fantastic setting for what promises to be an amazing event.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing actually to, like when I think of some of the places that I've been, and it's really nice to come to Italy, to Florence.
We were just up on stage actually talking. It looks like it must be fake. It must be a green screen behind us. It's the most scenic place I've ever cut pieces of wood in half.
One of the great things that I love about timber sports is the fact that I am able to see places I would have never gone otherwise.
The famous Piazzale Michelangelo. The best 8 athletes in the world will prove their strength in this special format, which involves 4 disciplines in one heat.
Well, there's perfect timing.
That's the new kid, the Canadian youngblood Sterling Hart. Global sports director and timber sports legend Spike Milton is on hand with help and advice for the newcomer.
Okay, Sterling, new kid on the block. First Champions Trophy, my friend. A few words of wisdom from myself. I think it's really important that you get settled in with that stock saw. Composure when the gun goes off, silky smooth. Pick it up really quickly, smoothly through the log. Place it down, set the saw off, then a swift transition to the underhand. Straight up, big front. Get that big front out. Hopefully get the jump on the other opponent, spin round into the second side. Should be a great start.
I think so. Like we were talking about before, there's a view for you. Woof. Hello, Florence.
What a beautiful city. Third event, the single buck. Probably not going to be your strongest event. It's not quite heavy enough in my opinion, mate, so you're going to really have to push yourself on this one. Get that saw started and just stroke and really build it up. And then move on to the final event, the standing block. I know this is your strong event and you're cutting beautiful standings at the moment, so you're really going to have to give it absolutely everything on this last event. What do you think?
No, yeah, I think you're totally right. That single buck, like, I'm confident in my single buck, but it is my weak event. Obviously, standing block last event, I'm going to be tired, but I think with the crowd there and the atmosphere there, a little bit of adrenaline running, I think I'll be able to bring it home. So here's hoping.
Absolutely, you know.
The Champions Trophy is not about endurance, it's about toughness.
Each discipline attacks your body in a different way.
The thing with the Champions Trophy is there's all those little intricate details that are going to cut out time.
The crowd on the Piazzale Michelangelo is getting ready to welcome the 8 best lumberjacks in the world. In every heat, we will see 2 athletes battle head-to-head. The best one qualifies for the next round, the other is eliminated. The first duel, Germany's Dirk Brown at 45 years old will go up against 37-year-old Brad DeLosa from Australia. DeLosa is one of the favorites and won this competition last year, so advantage goes to him, but Brown is an incredibly strong competitor, a power hitter. Let's see how it breaks down.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a stiff competition. There's some great competitors, but yeah, hopefully with everything goes all right, it'll be nice and tight at the finish.
Good even start by both of these competitors, 2 fantastic athletes. Brown is actually a professional forest worker, while DeLosa is a mechanical engineer. Both of the guys getting over to the underhand chop. Brown heavy hits, but DeLosa looks like he has a slight advantage here. These guys have to chop through both sides of the log, and DeLosa already switching to the other side. Brown still trying to get those big hits on his first side. And it looks like Brown is still working through. Oh, no, it's DeLosa. Gets through, and now he moves over to the single buck. Brown now behind, hasn't even started the single buck. DeLosa makes it look like butter. Short work of the single buck, and now DeLosa is at the standing block chop again. Got to go through both sides of this log. Brown now working through single buck, finally gets there. It could be an opportunity for Brown to take control back here, but DeLosa is well ahead. A couple more shots for DeLosa, and he might get through there. Brown has to really hammer away at it, but it's not going to happen for Brown. DeLosa, one more blow, and he's through. DeLosa wins it in a time of 1:10:13, but Brown not giving up, wants to have that time, but he is clearly fatigued after working really hard at the underhand chop, and finally gets through in 1:26:21. Good battle. Looking back at the slow motion here, a very clean cut at the stock saw for both of these guys, but DeLosa made up some good ground during the underhand chop. Brown was fighting at the single buck, however, and finally the Australian comes out on top, just getting through the standing block chop in good time. It's official, DeLosa moves on to the semifinals with his win against Dirk Brown.
Yeah, not too bad. Hopefully I can improve a little bit on that, you know, so just, yeah, good run to have first up and get it out of the road.
Yeah, I'm satisfied. Maybe I could have picked up 4 or 3 seconds, though. More Timber Sports action coming up after this short break. Welcome back, everybody. The STIHL Timber Sports Champions Trophy continues. The next duel on the Piazzale Michelangelo is between Arden Kogar from the USA, head-to-head with the Swissman Christoph Geisler. Both these athletes are very experienced lumberjacks. Kogar, coming from a timber sports family, has been chopping for more than 25 years. Geisler's been in timber sports athlete since 1997.
I've dedicated my training for this event to my mother, who passed away last fall. Okay. I gave everything that I had to preparing for this event. And so the guys better be ready, because I am.
Well, a motivated Kogar gets a pretty decent start here in the stock saw, but it looks like Geisler's got a slight advantage. He finishes it first, moves over to the underhand chop, and he gets the first blow ahead of Arden Kogar, but Kogar is a huge man, exceptionally strong. Geisler with a quick stall of his axe, and Kogar has moved over to the other side already. He's through, and he'll move to the single buck quickly ahead of Geisler, and now Geisler has to catch up. He's got to play a bit of a racing game here against Arden Kogar. Boy, Arden Kogar is on fire today at the standing block. He's almost through. One more blow will do it. Arden Kogar, 1:07:84. That's a personal best for him. Geisler still working at it and finally gets through in 1:12:91. Amazing. This sport needs power, precision, endurance, and toughness, and boy, these guys are the epitome of that. Arden Kogar was behind after the stock saw, but at the underhand chop, he took the lead and never looked back. Final blow for Kogar to finish it off in his personal best time. What I tell you about power. Arden Kogar, the lawyer from West Virginia, qualifies for the semifinals.
My personal record on this is 66. I got within a second right there and I was coasting. Now it's time to bring the ring.
Yeah, I'm satisfied. At the stock saw, I was ahead of Kogar, but at the single buck, I lost some seconds. But I'm happy with my time. The last duel of this quarter, youngster Sterling Hart from Canada, in fact, the youngest competitor in this competition, challenging the local hero Paolo Vicenzi. Hart coming out of Vancouver, he's 25 years old, current Canadian champion. Vicenzi, on the other hand, 29, and the best Italian lumberjack.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference for the Champions Trophy. We're doing the same events as the World Championships and every other Stihl Series event, but the endurance is going to come into play a lot.
Well, Sterling Hart said it. Endurance plays a huge role here. Good start for both of these guys on stock saw. Sterling Hart getting through the stock saw first. He moves over to the underhand chop, but Vincenzi is right there with them. Hart's got a good pace, though. Look at that. Quick strokes by Hart, and Vincenzi, he's got his axe stuck a couple of times there. Hart's already onto the other side and through the block, and now he's moving to single buck. Vincenzi struggling to get that final cut, and wow, look at how quickly Hart made it through the single buck. Standing block chop for Hart now, and Sterling is rocking and rolling here. And Vincenzi still trying to get through the single buck. He's really struggling now. He's well back of Hart, and I don't think he's going to have any close to a chance of getting no weight. That is Sterling Hart taking this one down. Great time for him, 1:10.09. 20 seconds later, it is Vincenzi, the local hero. Once again in the slow-mo, we can see Hart just killing these logs, getting through very quickly. The part that was impressive for me here was the standing block chop, though. Great big blows and one final cut to make it a solid win. So a successful kickoff for the Canadian. He moves on to the semis.
I'm happy with the time for the first round. You know, like I said before, my game is endurance, so I plan to build on each time as I go along. I'm warmed up now and move on to the next round against Arden.
It was okay, but there was no chance to catch up at the standing block. The STIHL Champions Trophy 2015, the semis after a short break. Welcome back to the STIHL Timbersports Champions Trophy 2015 here in Florence, Italy. The semis, Brad DeLosa from Australia head-to-head against Jason Wynyard from New Zealand, and in the second heat, Arden Kogar from the USA will face off against Canadian Sterling Hart. Now, the battle of the legends from down under. Kiwi Wynyard, six-time world champion, and Aussie DeLosa, world champion 2013, and last year's trophy winner. They are ready to tackle this challenge. Good start there for both of these guys. DeLosa looking good, Wynyard looking very good as well, and they are both through, but DeLosa a little bit slower than Wynyard. And now both moving over to the underhand chop. Actually, they both got to the underhand chop at the same time, but DeLosa's pace, his rhythm, is much faster than Wynyard, but they both turn at the same time. Oh, this is incredible. It's pace against power at this point. DeLosa now on to the single buck. Wynyard, this should be his part to take over the lead slightly, but both of them have a very good stroke here, and now it is Wynyard moving ahead ever so slightly of DeLosa. Wynyard moving to the other side of the standing block chop. DeLosa still working at it. Let's see what the time is going to be. Is it going to be DeLosa? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! 9/10 of a second, and both of these guys have smashed the existing world record. Once again in slow-mo here, Wynyard, he absolutely knows how to handle the stock saw, but in this case, DeLosa was ever so slightly faster, but they both got over to the underhand chop at the same time, and right here, you can barely see it. It's hard to tell with the naked eye, but the time between those two guys was incredibly close, and look at this final blow from Wynyard. What a powerhouse that man is. The jury still deliberating here. All decisions are checked by video in such a tight result. It has to be checked for sure to be safe. That's it. DeLosa is the new world record holder and the first finalist. Wynyard will have a chance to battle for third place.
Proud to get this far, to be honest. I had a lot of injury trouble coming into this, so it wasn't the best of starts for me yesterday, but hey, I put on a performance that pushed the current world champion, so that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, a little bit close for comfort, you know. It was I made a couple of mistakes there, which really made it hard for myself, and I was really lucky to get away with the win, you know.
All right, there's one spot left in the final. It's going to be either the youngster from Canada, Sterling Hart, or the experienced American, Arden Kogar, moving on as these guys get set up. And we'll wait for what should be a very interesting battle between power and experience, or youth and vigor. Good even start. Sterling Hart looking good at the stock saw, but Arden Kogard I thought Arden was going to get it, but it's Sterling Hart getting through the stock saw and over to the underhand chop first, and he's got a good pace there at the underhand chop. Who's going to be first to turn? It's going to be Sterling Hart over to the other side first, but Arden Kogard right there with him. But Arden Kogard steps off the log, and then with a little bit of luck actually gets through the underhand chop before Hart does. Now Hart struggling to get some flow going on the single buck, and wow, Arden Kogard just raced through that one like a hot knife through butter. And now the standing block chop, Arden Kogard's power should play an advantage here. It's looking good for the American. Sterling Hart doing well is also moving to the other side, and now a final blow by Arden Kogard, and he takes it down in 106.20. That is a personal best. Sterling Hart finishes it off in 111.63. Also, the second semis were full of spectacular moves, and despite a perfect underhand technique, Hart gets the short end of the stick as we look here at Kogard. Great start in the stock saw, and it was actually here that Sterling had the advantage moving to the underhand chop, and just by sheer luck of, I think, his weight, Arden Kogard managed to get through the underhand chop first. So there you go, Arden Kogard will be the guy that advances to the final to battle it out with Brad DeLosa for the legendary Champions Trophy.
I can go faster. I can go faster than what I just did. I'm going to have to beat Brad DeLosa.
Well, the final looks like this. Brad DeLosa face-to-face with Arden Kogard, and Sterling Hart will go up against the legend Jason Wynyard for a third-place position. So here we go, the men for the consolation final. Jason Wynyard, the current world champion. For him, it's about honor. For Sterling Hart, it's the first time competing in the Champions Trophy. He's got nothing to lose. The favorite discipline for both these guys, standing block. Will we see another close decision?
I would like to see if I can get a bit of time in the last run, and we'll see how we go. But I think we both put everything into that last one, and it was a fantastic finish. So you can't ask anything more.
Good even start for both of these guys. Oh my goodness, though. Look how close Sterling Hart is to the single buck as he gets a huge cookie cut down there, and they both move to the underhand chop at the same time. Sterling starts well, but he needs to maintain a good pace if he wants to keep up with Jason Wynyard. The big man is really rocking and rolling here. He gets through the underhand chop first. Sterling Hart, one final little blow, and now he moves over to the single buck. It could be that he has some problems because he cut so close to the single buck. And now Jason Wynyard onto the standing block, his favorite discipline. Such a powerhouse as he moves to the other side there. Incredible effort by Jason Wynyard after a full day of competing. And now Sterling Hart finally over as Jason Wynyard knocks it down in 103.15. Hart still battling. He's giving it all his heart to finish off this heat here. A couple more hits, one more in fact, and it's going to be 128.22 for Sterling. Look at the size of the cookie he drops down there. It was very lucky that he didn't interfere with his single buck blade at that cut, and you can see here Jason Wynyard, his final blow on the standing block. Incredible power from the legend from New Zealand. Amazing, and it was obvious that Sterling Hart was just out of gas in this competition here as he tried his very best to finish off at a good time. So third place, another great result for the Kiwi, Jason Wynyard.
I've been watching Sterling all the way through actually, and he showed a lot of endurance. So I actually expected him to push Arden a little bit harder in their semi-final.
No, I actually made a critical error when I made my stock saw cut, made it too thin and actually cut underneath my single buck cut.
The big final, who will get the STIHL Timbersports trophy? Stay tuned to find out. It's decision time here in Florence, Italy at the STIHL Timbersports Champions Trophy 2015, the final. Arden Kogar from the USA and the Australian Brad DeLosa are geared up for this last heat of the day. Brad DeLosa, world champ 2013, he set a new world record today at 58.22, but the mark doesn't impress the American.
Yeah, I can make it under a minute. I have to put everything together. I'm a little older, I'm a little heavier, I don't move as fast, so I'm going to have to sprint from event to event.
Yeah, so I go for another title now, so yeah, hopefully fingers crossed I can bring it home, and just want to say a big hello to everybody at home, the family and friends, and STIHL Australia for the great support they've given me.
All right, here we go. Both guys on stock saw right now. DeLosa looking pretty good. Who's going to get through it first? Oh, it is dead even. Oh, and a small mistake by DeLosa. He had to turn the saw off, set the safety, and he got over to the underhand chop late. That means Arden Kogar has a bit of an advantage. He slipped to the other side now already on the underhand chop. DeLosa joining him shortly thereafter. And who's going to get through first? It's DeLosa with good speed on his underhand chop, but they both get over to the stock saw relatively at the same time. DeLosa, Kogar, DeLosa. DeLosa gets through first, and now he moves over to the standing block, but Kogar's not that far behind, and let's not forget, Kogar is a power hitter here. DeLosa gets through first. Oh my God, 57.59 seconds. Unbelievable. Another world record for DeLosa. Kogar in 1:01.59. Two worthy finalists. Both these guys were crushing it. Kogar's performance is respectable, 1:01.59, a new personal best time for the American, but DeLosa was basically unbeatable today. He set 2 new world records, and he just blocked it and took it away. Kogar, such a powerful man though, but DeLosa, his last couple of hits on the standing block were the deciding factor. Amazing final heat. Brad DeLosa is all smiles. He's the winner of the STIHL Timbersports Champions Trophy 2015. In the final, he's broken his own world record and grabs the legendary trophy the second time in a row.
You know, it's a really tough race, and to get under a minute in that race is, you know, something special and a personal achievement, so I was really happy with that.
Final results, the favorites from down under and overseas prove their strength and decide the challenge between themselves. The Europeans have to settle for places 5 through 8. And then the magic moment arrives. The March of Champions. This is why they do it. Brad DeLosa holds the ring in his hands. The STIHL Timbersports Champions Trophy 2015 from Florence, Italy, highlighted by DeLosa's 2 world records, will make history. We're looking forward to the next edition. We'll hope to see you there.